Part 388. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 3871. The much anticipated competition of faith has begun. The formation of faith was also pulled up. Next is the moment of real PK. Fang Fan and Wang Tu entered the belief formation at the same time, standing at the two edges of the belief formation. Immediately began a full-scale restlessness. At the moment, everything is actually going according to the established rhythm. Overall, it's not a big problem. The consciousness is clear, and the infinite brilliance in the eyes is flickering. It is more than words. Whoosh! Suddenly, the great formation of faith was in the sky, an endless oppressive force swept over, making people feel inexplicably excited. If you feel this way, you can tell someone more. The pressure is in place. The formation of faith has really opened. From such a distance, you can feel the impact of this crazy power of faith. Good guy, if I go in, I'm afraid I will be torn apart in an instant. Goodong, terrible. It's really too scary. If you can't control it a little bit, the rhythm will be completely messed up. Be steady, be sure to be steady. A muttering sound followed, and the sound of breathing couldn't help but become rapid. At this moment, the minds of the surrounding melon-eating people are gradually expanding, and their moods are particularly restless. It seems that they are also in this place, undergoing a crazy shock of faith. Fang Fan felt the strong power of faith around him, without any pressure, and even a little sleepy. Just standing here so stupidly, unable to do anything, can you not get sleepy? Fang Fan smashed his mouth, his eyes flickered slightly, his thoughts fluttered, and then he walked forward silently, and then took out a recliner from the storage ring. Everyone! What is this doing? Are you a demon? Why do you feel that you don't understand? What does this mean? What's going on? Is it possible that this Fang Fan wants to come up with some secret weapon? And then get some flower heads. I don't know what's going on, but this situation is indeed a bit mysterious. That's a reclining chair? A chair? What is he doing with a chair at this time? If he really can't bear the crazy impact of the power of faith, he can prepare a coffin for himself. This is a mess, isn't it? A bit fancy. Who can understand this stuff? Anyway, it feels a little out of place. Damn. Isn't this a bit too crazy? I don't understand, I really don't understand it now. What kind of trouble is this trying to do? This thing, take it easy. If you are a little careless, it will be cool. Don't talk nonsense if you don't understand, just read it carefully. Wait. That Fang Fan flattened the deck chair. Good guy, did he lie down directly? He's lying on a deck chair, what does that mean? What the hell, I'm getting more and more fascinated. Is it too sandy? Can you calm down a little? It's full of gaudy things, tossing and tossing, and there's not even a trick. Could it be better to lie in the belief formation? Hey. I guess this guy can't stand up anymore, so he wants to lie down. I have to say, this guy is quite scheming. So what if he is scheming? Now this round has been closed long ago, and now there is only one dead end in front of him. Well, I can see that it will really be cold later. I've said it all, just watch the show. Well, how can there be so much nonsense? Tisk. So, Saint Wang will surely win. I made the right bet. I made a big bet and I took off. The current game is actually quite lively, and everyone seems to be very interested in talking with each other. As each of them talked, their complexions gradually turned red. This time, his eyeballs rolled silently, and his thoughts swelled in his mind. It is more than words. According to the established rhythm, there will not be any major changes. Generally speaking, the situation can be stabilized. Snort. Can't you hold on? How long has it been? Not even 10 minutes, you need to lie down. Even if the saint stands here for 10 hours, it's fine. Just because you, a brat, want to compete with the saint. Overestimating one's abilities. Really overestimating one's abilities. Since you want to seek death, then I can only choose to fulfill you. You chose this path yourself. Humph. No wonder anyone. When the battle of faith is defeated, you will have to judge yourself here according to the bet. No, this surging power of faith can completely crush you directly. At that time, you little brat will die under the full impact of the power of faith. Others, what else do you want to say? Never mind. The situation is clear in an instant. Comfortable. That's what I want. There were more voices of emotion, and then there was a hint of playfulness in the words. It seems quite comfortable now. For a time, the rhythm was clear and the consciousness was clear. Wang Tu stared at Fang Fan, and now he wanted to see how Fang Fan died. It's just a waste of time if you just stand there all the time. If Fang Fan could be allowed to die earlier, Wang Tu would naturally be very willing. Wang Tu squinted his eyes, thinking to himself, the sound of breathing gradually became real. Gradually, he gathered all his strength in one place. Immediately, relax in an instant. Belief. Collapse. Boom. Rumble. Suddenly there was a thunderbolt in the sky, and the beam of faith on the faith formation suddenly expanded several times. At the moment it continues to swell. It didn't stop the pace of continuous expansion until it expanded to more than 10 times its original size. With such a sweeping glance, everything became clear immediately. What's the situation? Why do I not quite understand? Oh my God. No. No way. This completely exploded. The impact speed of the power of faith has increased by more than 10 times. What is this Wang disciple doing? He was deliberately provoking the power of faith just now, and let the power of faith rush in instantly. Crazy. If this continues, the pressure will increase tenfold. Isn't he afraid that he won't be able to hold on? Go, let's go, move closer to the surrounding area. Call. The power of faith that has surged to the extreme, although most of them are gathered in the large formation of faith, but it also overflows a lot. It's too close, I can't hold it anymore. The skin all over my body is starting to crack like crazy. Whirring. Uncomfortable, painful. Damn it. Go away. This Wang disciple is really crazy. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3872. Everyone around felt a little uncomfortable, and then couldn't help but curse. At the same time, his sense of this Wang Tu also became bad, and he felt that this guy was too crazy and stupid. Put more pressure on yourself, is this comfortable? Good guy, what are you thinking in your heart? It's a flashy wave, which means a hammer. Hee. Everyone is saying that Saint Wang Tu is a fool. Speaking of which, the real fool is actually you. In your own hearts, do you really have no points? Saint Wang Tu actually wants to increase the pressure, and then wash that Fang Fan out. Hee. This little pressure is nothing to Wang Tu Saint, and he didn't care much at all. But the pressure is different for that Fang Fan. This kid must have been under a lot of pressure. If this is the case, I will definitely not be able to take the first step. Isn't there only a dead end at that time? Maybe this Fang Fan didn't even have a chance to escape, so he was buried directly. Hey. It's too difficult. It's getting cold. What's going on with Fang Fan? Why hasn't he responded at all? Still lying on that armchair. It's a bit strange that it doesn't move. Good guy, what the hell is going on? I really don't understand it. Who will explain to me? Explanation? What's there to explain about this thing? It's similar to what you saw, isn't it? Maybe he has been washed through his brain by this strong power of faith, and died directly. Brain dead? Doesn't it look like he doesn't even have a breath of life? Through the formation of faith, this can't be checked. I feel that it is almost the same as I imagined. That's it, it seems quite stable. Invincible, after this wave, you will be directly invincible. Exciting, feel a wave now, it's really exciting. If this person is dead, what's the point of continuing to stay here? Wouldn't it be better to just declare the end? The hearts of the people who eat melons are very anxious, and they wish to end this matter immediately. It's just that the current affairs are naturally not that easy to deal with. The overall situation is still in extreme danger. A little carelessness, the whole game is lost. The rhythm can't be stabilized, and then the hips will be stretched in an all-round way. The more you think about it, the more messy your thoughts become. Wang Tu, who was in the formation of faith, let out a heavy breath at this moment. When the power of faith broke out completely, he also felt great pressure. Once this wave cannot be stabilized, consciousness will completely collapse. Under this kind of pressure, I can support another hour at most. That kid, why didn't he respond? What's the situation? Is this kid pretending in front of me? I can't be led by the nose by this kid. I have to do something. Otherwise, something will happen in the end. Once the rhythm can't be stabilized, it will completely pull the hips. If this kid is dead, what's the point of me staying here? All this suffering was in vain. Wang Tu, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Alliance of Light, squinted his eyes, and while talking this time, his thoughts were completely flying in his mind. The various rhythms are in place, and the sense of oppression is gradually strengthened. Immediately there was an urge to completely sweep everything in front of him. Such a state of mind, let alone tell anyone. For a while, I really couldn't grasp the rhythm. Once this rhythm is messed up, everything will come to an end. Your Majesty, Fang Fan is dead. The battle of faith has already been decided. Your Majesty the Pope, please declare. Call. Wang Tu took a deep breath, his eyes flickered quickly, and the rhythm gradually stabbed forward, as if to completely sweep everything at the moment. Under the oppression of the heavy power of faith, Wang Tu couldn't take it anymore. When he spoke at the moment, his body couldn't help trembling crazily, and the consciousness deep in his eyes was completely messed up. He didn't know what to say for a while. All I know is that I pursed my lips like this, the rest is completely unconscious. Ha. Ha 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 ha. Ah ha 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 ha. I'm dying of laughter, I'm dying of laughter. Laughing to death? What's so ridiculous? Isn't that the case? I can't, I really can't, my calf is trembling. Ha 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 ha, Pope of Light, is this the first-class saint of your Light Alliance temple? Really, really funny. Why didn't I realize that there are so many talents in your temple of the Alliance of Light? Faith is better than fighting the ground, saying that people are dead. I can't laugh anymore. The muttering sound swept across the room, and hearty laughter continued. Pope Mo II of the Dark Temple clutched his stomach and couldn't help laughing out loud. The more he laughed, the more trembling his body became. In the eyes at this moment, murderous intent flashed. As if to completely sweep everything in front of me clean. Such a mood can only be understood by experiencing it personally. I have to say that this dark Pope is really humorous. As he spoke, he couldn't help laughing. At that moment, Pope Yuan Hanlin's face was extremely dark. Shame. How embarrassing. This face is completely lost. At this moment, he was panting quickly, not knowing what to say next. Inexplicably, I felt the black lines flickering all over the forehead, and the sound of chattering teeth swept across the board. Mood, depressed to the extreme. Wang-tu. You idiot. Fang Fan is just sleeping, when will he die? Before you speak next time, can you pass your brain first? Stupidity doesn't describe you anymore. Idiot. Idiot. The roaring sound swept across, and the posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed. As he was talking at this moment, his face turned darker and darker. Thoughts exploded in my mind, and consciousness was stabbing forward. Ah! What? No. Not dead. Why can't I feel it? He's obviously motionless. Wang-tu, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Alliance of Light, opened his mouth, and the corners of his mouth twitched uncontrollably as he spoke. The more I thought about it, the more I felt something was wrong. Thoughts were stuck in my mind, and I couldn't express them for a while. Very messy and speechless. Consciousness is confused, and mentality is also a little bit collapsed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3873. At the same time, Wang-tu suddenly thought of a very crucial question. If this Fang Fan hadn't died, under the impact of such a heavy power of faith, he didn't have much reaction, which shows that his ability to bear the power of faith is too strong. Where did this brat have such a pious belief? This kid is really the reincarnation of the true God of light. So you are born with a strong affinity for these powers of faith. Is that so? Could it be that Wang-tu's luck is so bad? Asshole. Asshole. I cannot be reconciled. This brat must die. Must die. Either he dies, or I die. Between the two of us, one must die. If such a good opportunity fails to kill him, my fate will be completely dominated by him. Whirring. That's it, that's it. In terms of mentality, you must completely collapse. Now not only the Dark Pope favors him, but even the Light Pope has a great affection for him. In such a situation, I have no way out. If he is allowed to escape today, it will not be so easy to find a chance to kill him in the future. Also, his potential is terrifying. I'm afraid it won't be long before you can have a combat power comparable to that of the Pope. Now he has 2 weak demigod guards from the Protoss around him. How long has it been? Or don't offend such an existence. Since I've offended you. Humph. Why don't you offend me to the end? Wang-tu, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Light Alliance, is currently brainstorming. All kinds of thoughts in the heart are displayed in place, and the consciousness is stabbing in an all-round way. It exploded. Do not slack off. Call. Wang-tu took a deep breath, feeling the gradual oppression of the power of crazy belief. He felt great pressure. If he doesn't take any action now, he will be completely silent in the formation of faith in a while. Such a situation is absolutely unacceptable. Wang-tu clenched his fists tightly. Success or failure depends on it. Subject to the rebellion of the Protoss. Everyone must die. Ah! Wang-tu suddenly seemed to have gone epileptic, and then his whole body twitched rapidly. Immediately, the eyeballs frantically moved towards the sky, gradually revealing the white benevolence. That attitude seemed a little scary. The sense of the picture was a little out of control for a while. The surrounding people who eat melons widened their eyes, and were stunned for a while. What's the situation? Bewitched? Is this crazy? Too much stimulation? What's the situation? Why do I feel a little confused? Cough. This Wang disciple feels that he is about to lose, doesn't he? He can't afford to lose, so he becomes so crazy. Ah, I thought that as a first-class saint, you have to have a bit of a plan. This thing, you can't even afford to lose, it's better than fighting with a hammer. Laugh, hip stretching. 2 hip stretching. If you really think you're going to lose, why don't you just quit? Wouldn't it be nice to talk about a few generations of talented people, each leading the way for hundreds of years? Like this, it's disgusting to look at. No. I always feel that something is wrong, but I can't tell the difference. Damn it, can it work? I bet heavily on this dog day. This is going to kill labor and capital. Who the hell just said that Wang is awesome? Is he so awesome? Steady, steady, keep watching, this Wang disciple has started acting like a demon again. Discussions from the surrounding area are gradually gathering, and the current direction of public opinion is leaning on one side. For a moment the situation seemed real. For a moment, a different kind of light flickered in his eyes, as if he wanted to completely destroy everything in front of him. I am the God of Light. Why don't you eradicate the rebellion? Kill. 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 Wang Tu's body continued to tremble crazily, and the power of faith in the surrounding area was gradually overwhelming, and then collapsed. These are not the most important, the key is the words Wang Tu said at the moment. Everyone was shocked for a while. He said he was the God of Light. Are you really dancing to the gods? This ghostly look, it really looks like that. Good guy, Wang Tu is possessed by the God of Light. Did the God of Light use his body to fall? What is he doing? He is attacking that Fang Fan. He wants to take this opportunity to kill that Fang Fan. Do you want to stop it? Stop the hammer, didn't you see that Wang Tu was possessed by the God of Light? What do you look like now? You dare to stop the God of Light? You want to die. The key is that this guy knows he's just pretending at first glance. Is the God of Light so idle? It looks like a pain in the ass and then he goes to Wang Tu's body. Even if you think about it with your brain, you know it's impossible. The more impossible the thing is, the more mysterious it is. You are still too young. Even if someone is lying, can you expose it? Now they represent the God of Light, what do you think when you go up to question it? Are you questioning the existence of the God of Light? Let me tell you, even if there is only 1/10,000th possibility of this matter, you must be more cautious. Otherwise, something will really happen. Do you understand what I mean? Could it be, just let him talk nonsense here? Then we don't care about anything. Otherwise what else do you want? Boy, man, you have to know yourself. This kind of situation is not something we can get involved in, that's all. Originally, Fang Fan was sleeping soundly on the 2-seat chair, but when he was suddenly woken up, he immediately looked unhappy. Bastard stuff. After tossing and tossing, what exactly do you want to make a fuss about? Fang Fan's face was dark, the corners of his mouth twitched uncontrollably, and then he took a deep breath, his brain buzzing and trembling. Are all the dancing masters here? As for what? Is this noisy, interesting? Fang Fan's eyes swept across the front, and his eyes trembled slightly as he spoke, his face was speechless at the moment. Still possessed by the God of Light? This acting skill was pulled up in an instant. But in the end, whether it is a mule or a horse, you still have to pull it out for a while, you can't just do what you say. What did that become? The rebellion of the Light Camp. Must kill. I am the God of Light. You bastard who has lost his faith in light. Die. 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 The roars gathered in all directions, as if they wanted to destroy everything in front of them. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3874. Although Wang Tu knew that the credibility of going on like this was very low. By that time, she had no choice to negotiate, and now she can only gamble. At this moment, the thoughts in my mind burst out in full force, and the more I thought about it, the more rapid my breathing became. The impetuous heart is bursting out in full force at this moment. The will of madness is being fully created at this moment. So heartfelt, surging to the extreme. What I want is this extraordinarily pure thought. Burst. Continue to explode. Immediately invincible. Almost. Just a little bit. If I get close to him, I can kill him. Great opportunity, excellent opportunity. Sprint. Continue to sprint. Wang, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Alliance of Light, was panting heavily, and the brilliance in his eyes flickered all over, as if he wanted to bomb everything in front of him. Such a heart, and who to tell? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, ready to evacuate completely at this moment. This Wang disciple does not follow the usual path. The dignified first-class saint of the Temple of the Light Alliance, let alone how you are, at least you have to have the most minimum face, right? If you are as shameless as you are now, then it is really meaningless. It's too gimmicky. For a while, it was straight to the extreme. Boom. Bang bang bang. Suddenly, the thick beam of faith in the air exploded, and then the crazy energy spilled out towards the surrounding area, as if to completely drown everything in front of it. In such a state, it looks horrifying and disturbing. Immediately afterwards, an extremely strong power of faith surged in the air. Immediately, a phantom appeared in the air. True God Phantom. The True God Phantom is here. Is this real or fake? This is too exciting. True God. True God has really come. True God has no limits. Didn't that Wang disciple lie? Was he really possessed, by the true God of the Light Camp? Gudong, don't scare me, I don't need to be scared, hold on mentally, this is going to happen. Oh. What's there to be afraid of? Even if the true God descends, it's impossible to blame us. It has nothing to do with us. Overall, it's not a big problem. Anyway, it's really exciting. The more I watch this, the more interesting it becomes. Same. It's all the same idea. The excitement is boundless. Rush. Continue to sprint. Why does this True God Phantom feel so familiar? I always feel as if I have seen it somewhere before. Huh? Good guy, isn't this Athena, the goddess of wisdom? Before, there was a phantom in the Yuanxi God city before. That time the phantom under the crown of the goddess Athena seemed, as if she chose to hug, that Fang Fan. If not, how could that Fang Fan be remembered by so many people at that time? I remembered that the reason why Saint Wangtu had a big conflict with this Fang Fan seemed to be because of this matter. This solved the case. This Athena, goddess of wisdom, is crowned this time. Why do you want to come this time? I don't quite understand it. The devil knows. Anyway, it has nothing to do with us, just look at it like this. I thought it was to help that Wang disciple saint, but now it seems that the situation is not right. As the discussions around him gradually gathered, the phantom of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, landed directly in front of Fang Fan, and then glanced at Wang Tu, who was still pretending to be crazy not far away. Wang Tu, who was dancing, suddenly trembled, and then couldn't help but swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and the sound of breathing became rapid, and the panic and anxiety in his heart just gathered in his forehead, and his heart sank completely. It's too scary. This will almost broke the position directly. He danced well and didn't do anything else. How did this goddess come here? From the looks of it, is it going to be bad for yourself? The situation is serious. A little carelessness, the whole thing collapsed. Thinking so far, the whole person fell into a state of extreme panic. The more I thought about it, the more profound my feelings became. For a moment, cold sweat trickled down my forehead, and my thoughts became completely confused. The thoughts are completely clear. The rhythm is also completely messed up. There is nothing else to say about the others. Messy, I don't know what to say. Difficult to go to the blue sky. In fact, there are only two ways in front of Wang 2, which is to continue to charge forward. Or do you mean step back? This situation seemed quite terrifying. The phantom under the crown of the goddess is in place. If you do something next, the rhythm will completely collapse. Thinking in place, his complexion was dark, and he felt like he was riding a tiger. Now that the real god is here, wouldn't he be a hypocritical jumper? Everyone knew he was pretending to be crazy. In addition, there is another very critical question, that is, the goddess Athena of the Light Camp has come to Fang Fan in person, and she is so close to Fang Fan. Isn't it just for Fang Fan? This proves that Fang Fan is a member of the Light Camp, and has not changed at all from the beginning to the end. This proof is in place. What else is there to say? Wang Tu became a clown. Now the pressure has become a clown, ridiculed and ridiculed by everyone. Wang Tu panted heavily, his teeth trembling slightly, thinking to himself. The sinister look on his face was beyond words. While talking, there was an urge to completely destroy everything in front of him. Excited heart, trembling hands, only by experiencing it can you know the real feeling. Wang Tu doesn't need to listen at all now, he can instantly understand what the current public opinion is leading. He became the object of all the ridicule. A great sense of shame condensed in his heart, and Wang Tu's teeth could not help but tremble rapidly. Mentality collapsed. The mind is gone. There is nothing to say about the others. Everything is over. Athena. How did you come? Is this kid one of yours? You must have been deceived by him. He is a rebel from my camp of light. Kill him. Wang Tu gritted his teeth at this moment, and he didn't want to be aggressive, and then he started to talk about it. Even at such a time, he was still muttering blindly. It looks like I still have the god of light possessing me. Whether it's true or not, you don't need to read too much now, you know everything you know. It's just that this guy is still deceiving his heirs. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3875. The laughter around him didn't put any pressure on him. Anyway, it still looks like this gaudy from beginning to end. It doesn't matter, it's still an indifferent attitude from beginning to end. It seemed real at the moment. Pope of Light, you have so many talents in the Temple of the Alliance of Light. First, there was a first-class saint who could possess the God of Light, and now there is a proud son of heaven who can cast a phantom from the crown of the goddess Athena. The latter is understandable. As for the former, it looks like this guy is talking to himself. Could this guy be directing and acting on his own? Talent. What a talent! The Pope of Light, I have seen it thoroughly today. Ha ha ha. I don't have any regrets in this life. The Dark Pope Motu clapped his hands and laughed. While speaking, his thoughts were stabbed in an all-round way, and the more he talked, the more smiles appeared on the corners of his mouth. Another wave of mocking. The Pope of Light's complexion has long since turned into the bottom of the pot. How many times has this been mocked? Mocking and mocking, what is the point? Now the whole person is in a state of extreme anxiety. The more I think about it, the more restless I feel. The rhythm of all aspects also seemed a little unsteady. Wang Tu. It's enough. Get back. The Pope of Light snorted coldly, then couldn't help but rubbed his head and said. What he meant was to tell Wang Tu not to embarrass himself here. People have already seen through your tricks, and now that the phantom of the true God of light is in place, what are you doing here, a virtual fake? Do you still think this embarrassment is not big enough? Look at what's going on now. Once there is no self-knowledge. Simply the idiot of idiots. Yuan Hanlin. You are presumptuous. Kneel down. In front of this God, do you have the right to speak? Wang Tu was completely lost. I'm addicted to dressing up now, so I don't know what to do anymore. While talking, the sneer on his face was beyond words, and then he was domineering. Bright Pope. I gave you a face, didn't I? Give you 3 points of color, do you humming want to open a dyeing workshop for labor and management? What kind of virtue do you have, do you really have no points in your heart? Endless here? Come over. Court death. The Pope of Light snorted coldly, then stretched out a hand indifferently, followed by the air and grabbed Wang Tu, then threw him aside viciously. Wang Tu gritted his teeth, his body couldn't help shaking violently, severe pain swept his whole body, and his brain was buzzing. At this moment, I can't pretend anymore. If he was really possessed by the God of Light, how could he be so easily controlled by the Pope of Light? What happened? My brain hurts. Whirring. It feels like a long dream. What the hell, exactly happened? The Pope? His Majesty the Pope. Aren't I in the great formation of faith? I'm competing with the power of faith. And then suddenly it became like this. What the hell happened? It's getting more and more confusing. How strange. In a daze, I seem to see the crown of the true God. Wang Tu rubbed his head, and while talking, his frown became wider. While talking at the moment, he immediately shook his head. All kinds of feelings in my heart gathered in an all-round way, and my thoughts were extremely messy. Very strange. Always feel a little restless. Snored. Nothing happened. You've been just a nightmare for so long. Now that you have entered the faith formation, you will lose the faith contest. The Pope announces that Fang Fan will win this competition of faith. The Pope of Light waved his hand, then said calmly. This matter really can't be tossed about any longer. If you keep messing around like this, something will happen. I have suffered too much humiliation today. Fully bearing in place, the sullen feeling in my heart burst out in an all-round way. The more you think about it, the deeper your feelings become. It is more than words. Losing. I lost. Your Majesty the Pope. Just now, you were the one who caught me out of the faith formation just now. I didn't lose. I don't. I am the winner. Pope, Your Majesty the Pope. You can't do this to me. Competing for faith, how could I lose to this look? The Arabian Nights? It is clearly the Arabian Nights. The yelling was all in place, Wang Tu's face was black, and while he was talking, the extreme displeasure on his face gathered in all directions. The more I talked, the more my thoughts surged in place. I can't control this feeling. Oh. Do you still know that I pulled you out of the Xinjiang formation? So, your memory is fine. Huh? I think you've been quite normal from the beginning to the end. Here, pretending to be crazy with the saint. Snored. You are not qualified. I warn you. Don't engage in such unrealistic things. The battle of faith, how the situation is, I think you know better than anyone else in your heart. Don't think that I don't know about those petty movements among you. Don't say it, I'm trying to save face for you. Snored. Don't know what's good or bad. The cold snort was fully in place, and a trace of murderous intent flickered in the eyes of the bright Pope Yuan Hanlin. At this moment, the attitude has been made very clear. It means that you don't know what's good or bad. Do it yourself. Wang Tu's heart was cold. Losing, these are not terrible. The big deal is just a little loss of face, and it won't have much impact on himself. But now the Pope of Light no longer trusts himself, and even has a lot of extreme sullen feelings towards himself. Once all this sullenness is fully vented, he is completely finished. There is no hope. Everything is over. Thinking of the situations that might happen, the sense of panic and anxiety in my heart can't help but superimpose in an all-round way. At the moment, completely numb. Your Highness, you must listen to my explanation. Things are not what you think they are. Your Majesty the Pope. All along, you've been lied to. You have to trust me. Your Majesty the Pope. Wang Tu has given up all his dignity at the moment, and these are all burdens to him. At this moment, Wang Tu flew directly in front of the bright Pope Yuan Hanlin, then prostrated himself in front of him, and then tightly hugged the bright Pope's thigh. For a while, he didn't want to let go. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3876. He must win the support of the Pope. There is a glimmer of hope, if it can be supported. If not, it will be completely terminated. Thinking in place, I feel extremely painful and disturbed. Dignity can be abandoned, but the future and destiny must be preserved. The Pope of Light also felt extremely annoyed in the face of Wang disciples who were like mangy dogs. What a shame. The point is, at this moment, the Dark Pope Demon 2 is still watching here. You, Wang Tu, are also one of my generals after all, right? As the first-class saint of the Temple of the Light Alliance, he made such a cowardly look. Who the hell showed this? Sweeping over with a glance, I felt a headache for no reason. His brain was buzzing and trembling, and as for other feelings, he immediately became too lazy to talk nonsense. Emotionally, it's good to stabilize gradually. There is no need to say more about the others. Too much talking and not much meaning. Rhythmic, comprehensive collapse, this is the most important thing. Get over here. Stop talking that nonsense. Bright Pope Yuan Hanlin directly issued an ultimatum. The matter has come to this point, it is useless to say more. Going on, I'm really going to vomit blood. Asshole. All a bunch of jerks. The more I look at it, the more I get a headache, and the more I think about it, the more my brain explodes. If you feel this way, you can tell someone more. All of a sudden, all kinds of thoughts were completely destroyed. Wang Tu lowered his head, his body trembled slightly, and he didn't dare to say any more nonsense at the moment, so he could only nod and bow, and fully echoed from the side. The patience of the Pope has reached the extreme. If he continues to talk nonsense, I am afraid that the Pope will directly kill him because he can't help it. Thoughts were gradually turbulent in his mind, and then he shrank his neck, and his consciousness seemed to waver for a while. The more you think about it, the greater this mood swing appears to be. Those things in the imagination gradually became respected. The overall rhythm is as stable as Mount Tai. At this moment, Fang Fan faced the phantom of the goddess, with a complex look on his face. Followed in place again. At the moment, thoughts are fluttering, and consciousness is a little wavering for a while. The more I looked, the more dizzy I felt. What are these things? It's so confusing. The brain was buzzing and trembling, and the rhythm was completely silent on the spot. Athena, goddess of wisdom. This goddess is crowned again. This is already the second coming, right? To be precise, This is actually the third time Fang Fan has dealt with this Athena, the goddess of wisdom. For the first time, it started in the third-class Light Alliance temple in the Sky Sanctuary. After arriving at Yuanxi City, I saw the phantoms descending from the crown of the goddess Athena one after another. The last time when the phantom of the true god descended, he even hugged and kissed Fang Fan in front of everyone. These things flickered in front of his eyes like this, making Fang Fan a little uneasy. Not good, really bad. There must be tricks in it. Fang Fan's thoughts gradually fluttered, his will flickered in his mind, and everything was silent. The more you think about it, the more you feel it. The rhythm is more chaotic. After splitting the fork, he followed the split directly. Fang Fan stared at the phantom of the goddess in front of him, and the phantom of the goddess Athena also stared at him. Fang Fan took a deep breath, then stepped back 2 steps, and the ghost of the goddess Athena took a few steps forward. This time the scene is displayed in place, and I feel more and more strange and inexplicable. The more I look at it, the more I feel a headache. The sense of bells and whistles is in full swing. The whole person was numb. Fang Fan really wanted to say, "What exactly do you want?" Just when Fang Fan's scalp was numb, the phantom of the goddess Athena suddenly rushed forward at a faster speed, and then opened his arms, and hugged Fang Fan directly in a rather shameful posture in front of everyone. Living. At this moment, Fang Fan seemed to be embraced by the phantom under the crown of the goddess Athena in the posture of a little bird. Again. Back and forth, or the same old way. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth twitched, and black lines gathered on his forehead. He wanted to say something, but his words fell silent. Her lips were pursed, her brain trembled, and her thoughts became even more chaotic. What else is there to say? Everything followed the blood collapse on the spot. Nothing. It feels like playing. There has never been a shortage of good people around. At this moment, everyone's eyes widened, and they began to yell excitedly, as if watching the excitement was not a big deal. Her Majesty the Goddess embraces Fang Fan. My God! This Fang Fan is too lucky. Is there such a good thing? This kid looks, just like that, just a little handsome. Why? Is this the one that Athena, the goddess of wisdom, likes? Damn. You ask me, who the hell am I asking? I'm also at a loss now. Okay, this scene, this posture, it's nothing. Day. God knows how to become like this, my humming mentality has collapsed. Hey. This is the gap between us. Do you know how far apart we are? It's not on the same level at all. The difference is too great. It's nothing. Our layout is too small. We can only see those beauties in front of our eyes, who are tired of crooked around our senior sisters and sisters all day long, so we just make friends with the teacher's wife and so on. Look at Fang Fan, directly one step is in place, and we are together with the goddess of God's domain. Hey. Not much else to say, just because of this, I really admire him. Strong. Too strong. Wouldn't it be better to be invincible directly? Our place is not even a star. Thinking of it that way, it really doesn't make much sense. The rhythm and so on have already been fully in place. A real batch. The surrounding voices of emotion increased, and the more they talked, the more excited they became, and the more they talked, the more surging. The most indispensable thing at the moment is naturally those voices of envy and jealousy. At this moment, each of them gritted their teeth, looking extremely unhappy. The helplessness and feelings in my heart are manifested, vividly. Oh shit. All the benefits have been taken away by Fang Fan. Grass. This kid didn't suck all the luck out of me, did he? Only then did these good things happen. Otherwise, this shouldn't be. Good guy, why did you become like this ghost? Asshole. What an asshole. Goddess Athena. Such an existence, Fang fanboy is so enthusiastic. Also take the initiative to hug. I can't figure it out, I can't figure it out too much. Good guy, what's wrong with me? Asshole. Obviously nothing is bad. The posture of gnashing teeth was fully displayed, the thoughts were in place, and the consciousness gradually became a little unconscious. Bai Biao rolled his eyes, and began to babble on the sidelines. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3877. Although there are a lot of complaints, but at this time, it is basically useless. The layout is there, it's useless to say more. Cough. Why don't you say it's my apprentice? It really has some of my demeanor back then. Uncle G was deeply moved, and then he stroked his not-so-long beard with a rebellious expression. Everyone. You have been put gold on your own face. Did you do something when you were young that you didn't know in your heart? Have you hugged the goddess of God's domain? I think you can go to the hot spring palace to take a peek. The cold snort was all in place, and as he spoke, his thoughts gradually became chaotic. The words are in place, and the black lines on the forehead are gathered in an all-round way. Such a state of mind, let alone tell anyone. It's real and real. Don't talk nonsense. It's all the past, so what's the point of talking nonsense? Taishiji's old face blushed, and at this moment in front of so many people, he felt that this old face was a bit unbearable. Once the sea was too difficult for water. Back then, when he was young and frivolous, he did indeed do a lot of foolish things. Thinking about it now, I feel dizzy for no reason. The taste is too numb. The sense of ritual is being crazily suppressed. Tisk. Master, I didn't expect you to have this habit when you were young. How did you do it? Master, tell me quickly, so that I can gain some insight. Master, what do you think, is this the case? Master. Bai Biao's eyes lit up, and then he started shouting excitedly. While speaking, thoughts fluttered, and the eyeballs immediately became rosy. His face was flushed, and his breathing gradually became rapid. Such a heart, let alone talk to anyone. A real batch. Roll. Stop talking nonsense in front of labor and management. If you are so free, can you learn from Fang Fan? Ah. Both of you are my disciples. Come to my sect at the same time. My training for you is also a rhythm and a range. How come Fang Fan's cultivation base and combat power can be fully expanded, and why is it completely pulled when he comes to you? Ah. Don't you know what to reflect on? My bowl of water has always been flat, why did it become like this when I came to you? Anyway, give me an explanation. Taishiji stared at Bai Biao, and then launched a full-scale bombardment. Now at this time, it can be regarded as a good opportunity to change the subject. Otherwise, just the embarrassing things that happened to Taishiji before, can't be revealed one after another? If that's the case, it's the real scalp numbness. The thoughts are in place, and I can't help feeling deeply. It's nothing but bells and whistles. It's just playing around. The rhythm is still quite chaotic. The more I think about it, the more it doesn't feel like that. Bai Biao opened his mouth, looking a little confused for a moment. Boy, are you serious? I'm just joking with you, are you taking me for a knife? Hit all the shells on me. Is there such a thing to play? If you are not benevolent, then you can't blame me for being unrighteous. Is a bowl of water level? Master, other people can say this, so it's against your will to say it? For me and Fang Fan, are you sure the bowl of water is level? Did you share a fragment of the Star Core God Stone with me? Ah. Anyone who doesn't fall will be fully subsidized by Fang Fan. Is this called a bowl of water flat? Also, which time you didn't take the lead in protecting Fang Fan, I was the cannon fodder. Bai Piao gritted his teeth, and while talking, the anger in his heart was superimposed. As he spoke at this moment, his brain was buzzing and trembling. Thoughts are condensed in the heart, eyes are fully gathered, and the whole person is in a relaxed state. Damn, it's too difficult. Unbearable. I can't go on anymore. For a while, he looked like a jerk. The more you think about it, the more fancy you get. Unfair. Extreme injustice. As Bai Piao spoke, he got a little into the drama, and then all kinds of cries were fully in place. Uncle G. Good guy, can this thing still work? Ah. Isn't this state of mind and consciousness too unstable? What are you talking about? Listening to my ears, why doesn't it feel very good? Thoughts are flying, and consciousness is even less clear. Originally, Taishaji wanted to change the subject a little bit. What you said has a feeling that those who hear it are sad and those who see it cry. Mentally, can you calm down a little? I don't care about you, but at least you don't want to be so flashy, okay? How did this drama turn into an apprentice attacking the master? Okay. Okay. Where did all this nonsense come from? A big man, as for. It's so crying, what does it look like? Be quiet. Give me a little peace. Can't you earn the star core of the god stone fragments? This wave of gambling is open, and I have made a lot of money, right? It's almost there, let's be content. Don't be in the midst of blessings and don't know the blessings. Uncle G scratched his scalp, and immediately ended the topic. Isn't this to leave a message for others? Shame. It's really embarrassing. The more I look at it, the more I feel a splitting headache. In the current situation, the most important thing to look at is the reaction of the Light Pope and the Dark Pope, these two are the most important. That's the handle at the moment. At this moment, the Dark Pope Motu couldn't help but took 2 steps forward, as if he wanted to get a closer look at the phantom of the goddess Athena and Fang Fan. Unbelievable. It's all true. It stands to reason that this is impossible. But now these impossible things are happening so plainly before my eyes. Why? Those who have and don't have anything else to say. Shocking, it's really shocking. This young man named Fang Fan has a bright future. Motion, no wonder you keep admonishing this person. The Dark Pope Motu sighed, then nodded silently. Elder brother. This son certainly has a bright future, but he is now a member of the Light Camp, and there is a high probability that he will serve for the Temple of the Light Alliance in the future. In this case, this guy is our enemy. Elder brother. I think it's better to be on guard. For example, just kill this guy directly. It's settled once and for all, so as to avoid future troubles. After all, the relationship between my dark temple and this guy is not very good now. Based on this fact, this matter seems very mysterious. Mo Tien, the first-class saint in the Dark Temple, pondered, and then directly suggested. Bury the danger by your side, and you don't know when it will explode directly. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3878. Not in a hurry. What's the rush? Until the last moment, we, the Dark Temple, don't personally put forward our position. This is a matter inside their Temple of the Alliance of Light, let's see how they handle it. This Pope of Light is getting more and more stupid now. Anyone with a discerning eye can see that this Fang Fan and that Wang disciple have long been incompatible. How can I keep these two people safe? Either kill Fang Fan and let that Wang disciple take care of him. Either way, just kill Wang too directly to win over Fang Fan. How can there be so many things that have the best of both worlds? Hey, it's just a pity, this guy can't see through this at all. It's already at this time, and it's still ambiguous. If you continue like this, you will only make yourself continue to regret it. To be precise, it's actually stupid. It's almost as stupid as home. The sneer was all in place, and the dark Pope Motu yawned, as if he had seen the current situation clearly. While talking at the moment, his eyes fluttered closely. Ah! Brother, do you mean that civil strife will break out in the Temple of the Alliance of Light? Fang Fan and Wang Tu will fight again sooner or later. So, let them kill each other and kill themselves. The bright Pope Yuan Hanlin likes to watch the fire from the other side, but this time, it is very likely that he is getting himself burned. Huh? It would be more interesting if that's the case. Mo Tien, the first-rank saint in the Dark Temple, saw his eyes light up, and immediately followed suit. In this way, the benefits can be maximized. Hey, in fact, sometimes I really envy the Pope of Light. This guy has a trump card in his hand. But he can't fight at all. A complete idiot. But it's true, if this guy is really that clever, we should be the ones who should be worrying about it now. It is a great honor for us to meet such an opponent. Tisk. It feels pretty good. Gradually, the thoughts were in place, and the smiles on the face increased. This time, while talking, the brilliance in the eyes fluttered in all directions, and everything was silent. Feeling it, it is quite interesting. That's it, it's all in place. The bright Pope Yuan Hanlin, who is being discussed in different ways at the moment, is actually in a complicated mood. The phantom under the crown of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, is here. The goddess Athena announced her full existence by directly embracing her, and expressed her urgency to another extent. She embraced Fang Fan. Fang Fan has a problem of faith? This naturally does not exist. Fang Fan's appearance at the moment is that not only is there no problem with his beliefs, but he is definitely the most devout to the gods of light in the entire light camp. If not, why did Her Majesty the goddess of the light faction choose him to embrace? Doesn't this reveal a lot? This is the end of the matter, and there is nothing else to say about the others. The Pope Guangming looked at Fang Fan, and for some reason, he felt a little jealous in his heart. It can be said that all the men in the world are probably envious of Fang Fan, right? To be embraced by the goddess in such a gesture should be the common wish of all men. At the same time, a sense of crisis inevitably emerged in the heart of the bright Pope Yuan Hanlin. With the existence of Fang Fan, will my position as Pope be stable in the future? Call. Will he replace me directly? Now, he really doesn't have this ability. But the present does not represent the future. Who knows what will happen in the future? Maybe it's really going to evolve into that. Damn it. So, I want, how do I deal with it? That's all. No, absolutely can't just let it go. I have to do something. Worrying. There must be no slack in this matter. Suppress him directly. That's not okay. I'm the Pope of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. I have to have a pattern. And if someone finds out, wouldn't I lose face? If I can't suppress it directly, then I choose to win over? Give him a very high status? Give him favor? Let him be grateful to me? Become a major force in my hands? Huh? There is a possibility of this, but, just some things really can't be too biased. The rhythm, the more this rhythm, the more stable it must be. If something happens, it will be over. A muttering voice followed, the thoughts were in place, and everything was silent. Bright Pope Yuan Hanlin fell into a vortex of complete entanglement. For a while, I was directly trapped inside, and then I couldn't get out. I always feel that there are walls all around, and then I block myself in the middle. For a while, the whole person feels numb and deep. All kinds of ideas are gathered in the heart, and the rhythm is being suppressed in an all-round way. The taste in it is even more telling to that person. For a while, the Pope of Light had not yet made up his mind. Not far away, the goddess Athena smiled at Fang Fan, and then her phantom disappeared little by little before Fang Fan's eyes. Fang Fan smashed his mouth. He really didn't dare to move at the moment. All these movements felt like they were completely blocked. What is the special relationship between me and this Athena goddess? Could it be true, as they said, that I am the reincarnation of the so-called true God? I just lost my memory temporarily. Was I a true God in my previous life? And there is still some unclear relationship between me and the goddess Athena in my previous life. Is this, sure possible? No. Not right, not right. There is a problem, there is definitely a problem. Damn it. The key is that I don't know where the problem is. Why? This is the most tangled. The more I think about it, the more I feel a splitting headache. It's still possible to say that others may be the reincarnation of the true God. As for me, there is no such possibility at all. How the hell did I come to this ghost place? I know it in my heart. Could it be that goddess Athena saw that I am so charming, so she came over and posted it? Or, she has seen through my future riches and wealth, so she came here in advance to set up an ambush? Fang Fan's eyebrows trembled slightly. The more he thought, the more he felt. All of a sudden, all kinds of consciousness continued to be chaotic in the chaos. This has become a mystery. When will the mystery be revealed? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3879. This is not the coming of the true God at all. It's Fang Fan's blindfold. Your Majesty the Pope. He is blaspheming the true God. He used this method to deceive me once before, and now he wants to use the same method to deceive you. How could the true God phantom land casually, and it has landed twice in a row during this period of time? Wang Tu, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Light Alliance, continued to speak. This guy is really stupid. I really don't know what's going on in my head. It feels so mixed from beginning to end. What's the fun in doing it? Instead, let yourself be in a state of extreme stupidity. Showing his stupidity again and again, so, is it possible that he is very clever? In the end, everything will be completely annihilated. In such a state, who should I tell? Wang Tu. Guangming Pope Yuan Hanlin is strangely angry at this moment. You can be stupid once, it's your freedom. But you can't go on being so stupid, can you? At this time, do you still want to reverse black and white? From the perspective of the Pope of Light, he did feel that Fang Fan might bring some threats and shocks to him, but at least on the surface, he still had to maintain this peaceful situation. The pattern cannot be lost. If you can really kill this Fang Fan in one blow, the Pope will be completely wiped out. But what's the point you've been wrangling here? Is it just to let the Dark Pope see the jokes of our Temple of the Alliance of Light? Just to let all the faces be completely silenced here, so that the heart will be happy? What's going on in your head? Stupid to the extreme. The rest, let alone. Feeling in place in all aspects, that's all. True and clear. Thousands of thoughts, confused consciousness, everything is silent. Your Majesty, you should trust me, Boom. Before Wang Tu could say anything more, Guangming Pope Yuan Hanlin couldn't bear it anymore, and immediately kicked him out, directly kicking him far away. Looking at the scene at this moment, I feel my scalp tingling inexplicably. His thoughts were instantly confused, and his consciousness collapsed to the end. All kinds of ideas are invisible and completely extinguished. Steady. Got it too. Depressed heart, depressed everything. The Pope said, "You can shut up. Who made you keep talking nonsense? What no eyesight sees." Snort. Deserved to be taught a lesson. The cold snorts gathered in all directions, and the endless killing intent gathered in the eyes, followed by an extremely strong sense of oppression. Wang Tu pursed his lips, although he felt extremely unhappy in his heart, but now he could only grit his teeth and bear it. The matter has come to this point, it is useless to say more. Too difficult. Mentality is also on the verge of collapse. There are thousands of thoughts, and the consciousness is extremely flickering. For a while I didn't know what to say. The skull is also trembling a little bit. Messy thoughts, messy everything. It's nothing but bells and whistles. Hee hee. The contest of faith is over. According to the rules in advance, those who lose in the faith competition must commit suicide on the spot. Saint Wangtu, shouldn't it be time to implement the rules made before? Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and when he spoke, there was a hint of hostility in his eyes. The words are in place, as if to completely wipe out everything in front of him. Rules, what rules? I didn't lose again. What does it have to do with me? Originally, I was still inside the great formation of faith. It was His Majesty the Pope who pulled me out. Otherwise, you are the one who will die now. Wangtu, the first-class saint in the Temple of the Alliance of Light, gritted his teeth, looking like a dead duck. At this moment, I couldn't help but feel many waves in my heart. Thousands of thoughts, confused consciousness, everything is silent. This taste and feeling seemed too trembling for a moment. This guy pulled the Pope of Light into it in an instant, and now he meant to blame the Pope of Light. In an instant, the Pope of Light was sold. It wasn't stated explicitly, but that's probably what it meant. What else can we do? Really throw in the towel? At that time, under the watchful eyes of everyone, he will really commit suicide. Thinking of this, Wang Tu couldn't help but cast a grateful look at Yuan Hanlin, the Pope of Light. Fortunately, this one made a move at the critical moment, otherwise, it would really be the end of the calf. This time the thinking is in place, and the difficulties in it are superimposed in an all-round way. What's the meaning? Why didn't the Pope understand? Are you blaming the Pope for meddling in your battle of faith? Since both of you are not convinced, why not have another battle of faith? This time, no one wants to interfere. When the time comes, take a good look and see how it ends. Bright Pope Yuan Hanlin waved his hand, his face flickering. Such words are expressed in place, and the eyes flicker frantically. Such a heart, let alone talk to anyone. At this moment, he seemed quite anxious. The surging feeling deep in my heart is also suddenly accelerating. Cough. This is unnecessary. I'm out of energy now, and I don't want to compete in the second round. That's it? I don't want to continue competing with you juniors. Come here today. As for the agreed rules and so on, it's just a verbal statement without any written evidence, so it can't be taken seriously. Even if the saint really wins, is it possible that I can really let the proud son of the Temple of the Light Alliance go to suicide? Everyone must understand this truth. Very pure truth. It's good to understand. Others, it doesn't matter. Small problem. Muttering voices came from around, and Wang Tu waved his hand, pretending to be extremely proud. It's just that it looks too gimmicky. What are they talking about? For a while, I couldn't understand it. Rhythm, followed by a full hip pull. But the eyes of the masses are discerning. What exactly happened at this moment, everyone knew clearly in their hearts. Regarding the shamelessness of this Wang disciple, it can be regarded as breaking a certain record. Good guy, this guy can really talk. I remember that when he was in the faith formation, this guy killed himself to make the belief beam thicker, and then Fang Fan didn't move, and even provoked Athena the phantom under the crown of the goddess, but this Wang disciple couldn't hold on at that time, and almost collapsed. Yeah, at that time, this guy took the risk and wanted to assassinate Fang Fan. Don't be so embarrassing. Listen to it now, it's even more shameless. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3880. Although the surrounding discussions were heterogeneous, the conclusions were almost the same, that is, this Wang disciple is despicable and shameless. For Wang too at this moment, it doesn't matter at all. You can say whatever you want, if you care, I will lose. How big of a problem, bells and whistles, mess around. I just don't admit it, what can you do to me? As for the decline in reputation, are these things a thing? I don't care at all. Fang Fan couldn't help laughing at this moment. People are shameless, they are invincible. However, there will be opportunities to deal with such things in the future, and now Fang Fan is too lazy to say anything. Today, we can also see some thoughts of the bright Pope. Although the Pope of Light has been defending Fang Fan's interests on the surface, it is not difficult to see that he just did some helpless actions in front of everyone. In fact, in essence, he didn't feel very happy about the existence of Fang Fan. As for whether you hate it or not, it's not clear yet. Right now, they can only silently stare at the situation in front of them, and then proceed in an all-round way according to the established path. The turmoil of struggle here has temporarily come to an end. Fang Fan then returned to the resident of Guangming Academy in Yuanxi Shenzhen. For the time being, we have to wait for a while before we can know the situation of the Phantom of the Divine Ladder and the Phantom of the Exquisite Palace in the distance. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, his thoughts fluttered, and everything was kept silent. Develop in an all-round way according to the established rhythm, but in the end it has some special fun. This is what is needed. Vice Palace Master, what kind of person is that Pope of Light? Why do I feel that he and Wang Tuesday are a bit similar? Fang Fan glanced around, and then suddenly said. Shui Wanren's body trembled slightly, and his eyes flickered at this moment. What do you mean? Do you feel his murderous intent on you? The Pope wants to harm you. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, was speaking with a nervous expression on his face. This is no small matter. If the situation gradually gets worse, there will be big problems. At that time, this round will be completely bloody. Thinking up to this point, the endless brilliance flickered in his eyes. The state of mind immediately followed the blood collapse to the extreme. Things got a little louder. It's not that direct. However, I can tell that he is very guarded against me, and there is no tenderness in his eyes looking at me, but more of the vigilance towards the enemy. This is not too different from the way Wang Tu looked at me back then. It's just carved out of a mold. It seems that there is a big problem. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and when he spoke, his eyes fluttered all over. There is a high probability that his intuition will not be wrong. In this way, the problem here is serious. The Pope is not the same as Wang Tu. No matter how much Wang Tu hates you, there are still people on the top who are suppressing him. He dare not be too reckless, not to mention that you have two weak demigods from the Protoss to help you, so this Wang Tu is considered I am dissatisfied with you, and I dare not make any excessive moves. If there is a fight, it will be a bloody battle at worst. These are not problems. But if Pope Yuan Hanlin wants to kill you, how can he stop him? No. Why did the Pope want to kill you? He's already the Pope, he's already done it to the extreme, what can you threaten him with? Shui Wanren groaned, and then started a brainstorming session. He just couldn't figure it out at this moment. The more I thought about it, the more my brain ached. The current rhythms are completely out of order. What else is there to say? It is more than words. His thoughts were confused, his consciousness was stretched, and everything collapsed. What I want, maybe this is the effect. Hee. It's just because you're in a high position that you feel nervous. I'm afraid that someone will compete with him for this position. Maybe, he saw my threat. Afraid that my growth will affect his position as Pope. Who knows? Forget it, I don't want these anymore. These are things for the future. If you have a chance, go to the place where the Phantom of the Divine Ladder is located. If there is a chance to accumulate all the 9 sacred ladders, maybe there will be some special gains. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, thinking to himself. His thoughts gradually expanded in his mind, and everything was kept silent. The more you think about it, the deeper your feelings become. But when the time comes, any fool will know that there will be countless people competing for it. What will happen in that crazy scene is unknown. Maybe there will be some new stimuli, or maybe everything will be completely dead. This kind of thing, no one can say bad. At the same time, the Protoss Tianlin City. The battle here is still not over. The armies of God Clan Emperor City and Disha City surrounded Tianlin City. The frantic fighting is still going on, giving people a sense of great oppression in consciousness, so oppressive that people can't breathe. That taste and feeling completely swept the whole body and mind, and immediately, I couldn't breathe at all. This time, let me tell someone more about my thoughts. Consciousness collapsed, rhythm stretched hips, everything was silent. Talha led a group of Protoss powerhouses to fight a way out from a remote place, and then entered Tianlin City covered in blood. Immediately went to look for Cassius, the Lord of Tianlin City. The City Lord. Master City Lord. Finally found you. Whirring. The second-class general of Tianlin City, was panting heavily, as if he wanted to show his loyalty. Came back. Where's the ladder? Where is the treasure? Where are people? Cassius, the Lord of Tianlin City, completely stared at his eyes, and now they are as terrifying as copper bells. Ah! This, let Talha tell you. Yes. He is the leader. He is the leader. He knows best. Ask him. Ask him all. The second-class God General of Tianlin City, Kud's eyes changed, and he saw that he was getting into the point, and then quickly retreated. Showing his face just now is enough for the City Lord to remember, which shows that his goal has been achieved. If you want to rush forward recklessly at this time, you are really trying to die. When the time comes, I don't know how I died. Thinking of that scene, my brain trembled all over, my thoughts were messed up, and I didn't know what to say at all. Let Talha do this kind of blame thing. This is also the key to admitting that he is the team leader. Everyone doesn't want to take the blame, so we need to find a blame man. This time, none of the divine ladder, the treasure, and the foreigners were brought back. It is a high probability that the City Lord will be furious.